Oh, well, would have helped if I unmuted my microphone. Hello, everyone. Off to a wonderful start today. Oh, I meant to clear my throat like I do at the beginning of every stream. And hello, howdy. It's your pal Cassidy. Solo stream tonight, short notice, and bringing back something that we covered long ago. Frappe Fiasco already saying this stream is going to be the pits, and you're right in more way than one. I will tell you that much. We're revisiting Pit Fighter, which was the second ever article covered on the Bad Game Hall of Fame website, back when we wrote articles regularly. Wasn't that a long time ago? 2016 article. And, you know, I could have started from the top. I sort of have an idea for a series in mind where I redo or like take a look at all the games we once covered as articles on the sites. But I didn't want to start with E.T. I didn't want to start with the showstopper. I feel like we need to build up to E.T. It's like I didn't do on the website, right? I didn't build up to E.T. at all. We kind of just dropped that as our debut thing. But anyway, this is a circuitous way of saying we're about to play some Pit Fighter tonight. And this is the arcade version, the baseline version we're starting with here. Let me drag and drop that so I can actually see it a little bit better. Ooh, that's a bad effect. Don't like that one bit. And there's also supposed to be sounds on this attract mode. I went through the dip switch settings, and I could not get them to play. I'm not using MAME right now. I'm using FB Neo, which is built within RetroArch, which means I can do this. Whoa, what if I want to watch that cool knockout over and over again? I can rewind. I'm going to try to not rewind. I'm going to try to resist the urge to rewind everything all the time. We have our selection of 3 fighters. Buzz, the ex-pro wrestler. Ty, the kickboxing champion. Kato, the 3rd degree black belt. I'm partial to Buzz, for whatever reason. This is an Atari banger from 1990, and it's known as one of the first games to have digitized graphics in it. Not the first. I think I cover that in the article. There's like Rekai Doshi, something Exterminator, or Exorcist, which was a, I don't remember the details of it, but they used, like, puppets. They did digitized versions of puppets for that game. Or digitized photos of them turned to sprites. But this is one of the first ones to do the human form in full, right? I think there was also, like, a Journey arcade game or two that used their heads on drawn bodies, but this is always something. The point is that this game was impressive for a moment in time, supposedly. Not so much in the gameplay department. That is the thing, is that this game is looked back on not necessarily flatteringly, not necessarily with any degree of reverence. It did have 3-player cooperative and competitive play. It would alternate between those 2 modes, which is a novel-ish feature. And yeah, that was a quick knockout on our end. Let's go ahead and bring Buzz back into the fight. I'll go through the controls, I'll go through some of the summary stuff in a second here. First, we gotta celebrate that record KO time. Charky asking, is the multiplayer here versus or co-op? It is both. During these matches against the AI, you will have the full benefit of your teammates helping you in the fight, but they will also spawn extra enemies to sort of compensate for that. And then, intermittently, you will have to knock the shit out of your friends, your friendly other players. There's 3 buttons in this game. There's punch. There is kick. And there is a jump, which seems kind of pointless. There's no platforming in this game, I can assure you. But if you press combinations of different buttons, if you press punch and kick at the same time, for example, you will do your first special move. In this case, it is tossing our opponent over a head as a pro wrestler would. You also see random mooks from the audience come out and throw items into the ring. Or try to stab us. Just straight up try to stab us. You know, whatever their pleasure is. Let's just add a bunch of coins, why don't we? And then if you press all three buttons at the same time, like I'm about to demonstrate here. So your jump, punch, and kick. Well, he's got to let me do it. Pile driver, that's our second special, and you pose afterwards, and you have no choice in the matter but to do that. We gotta observe, we gotta pay close attention to how much health we're draining with each of these attacks. Our special, I think, does a solid 1 block of damage, but it is a guaranteed block, whereas the punches and kicks don't always take a full tick of health. So if the goal here is to finish these fights as quickly as possible... Alright, so these are grudge matches. This is where you would fight against your teammates. And it's just first to down. And that's what I get for not just prioritizing my special attacks there. You loser.
Just wait.
That is the Masked Warrior. He is the final boss. He is what we're building up to here. Will we make it? Well, we got infinite coins here, so the answer is yes. I keep going to pick up the knife, and I just immediately tossed it. How about a shuriken for you instead? You can hit opponents while they're down. That is kind of a necessary thing if you want to get that damage in time. Not the most exciting game in the world, but God, does it look awful, right? It just looks like a piece of junk. In terms of, like, fluidity, in terms of... But again, like, there was a moment in time where these digitized graphics was all you needed to get people to put coins into your machine. How are we going to get better than these graphics? How are game graphics ever going to look better than this? I mean, it's real life, for Christ's sakes. Charky asking, is this pre-Mortal Kombat? Is pre-Mortal Kombat right? Yes, this is 1990. Mortal Kombat is what, 91, 92? I'm not so good with years. Now that's a record KO time. Video Game King saying, in fact, this and several other games from the time interest me as responses to the growing post-industrialization of contemporary America. Some games, Narc, Guardians of the Hood, squeakle to this game, spiritual successor, interpret this moment through the lens of crime wave paranoia and others like that. Like this embrace that. Also, you'll notice our health did not recover between fights. This is a fighting game of some rapport, but it is not kind enough to replenish your health in any capacity between fights. This game wanted your quarters, and by God, it was going to get them. Plunder only, this match. A hardcore match. Put it in wrestler lingo. Fighting Polygon team observing that he kicked me in the dick while I was down. Yeah, CC Ryder is not a clean fighter. The C does not stand for clean. I should also mention there's no block button, I don't think. Maybe like some combination of like jump as they're attacking me. But why do that when I can just do this? When I can just throw them into the sides over here. You know, the good thing about doing just the punch-kick special attack is that it does a full bar of health, but you don't have to do the stupid pose-off afterwards that you do with all the 3-button special attack. We'll change fighters shortly thereafter, shortly after this match, to see what another fighter would look like. You know, mark some of the differences down. This guy does not want to let me get back up. Some people saying this is like Roadhouse, the video game. Yeah, that's not inaccurate. Brutality bonus. I'm not sure how it scores on these metrics, but I'm sure there's some sort of system. I'm sure there's some sort of math. Alright, I learned my lesson. Don't use the special attacks. Double KO. Impressive. Oh, Chainman Eddie, that classic fighter. You'll also notice an advertisement in the back corner, I'm going to center it, for a game called Hydra. That was actually the... Was that the predecessor, or did that come after this? In either case, it's built on the same arcade hardware, the same chipset, and, you know, scaling engine that this game is built off. Because that's the other thing. It's not just the digitized graphics, it's the scaling. It is the fact that the players get further and closer to the screen, to the imaginary camera here. What is that pose? I'm going for my punch kick, but he's just begging off on his knees like a coward heel. Let's try tie. Same thing. Why suddenly are all my fighters cowards? Oh, he found a power pill. That means he's gonna whip my ass that much harder if I let him. This is rough. Yeah, you really gotta go for those. It's like Tag Team Match Muscle on the NES, where the fight is basically determined by who can get those power-ups first. This is our 3-button super. Well, I would love to do it, but oh my god! He just fired me across the screen like an arrow in a quiver. We'll give Ty a second chance. Yes, suddenly my punch kick attack just becomes that. That is a strange turn of events. That combination move. Oh, I just realized that block. I just remembered that block is a kick and jump at the same time. I don't know how effective blocking is here, but Freud would have a field day with Chain Man, says Video Game King. So why do you wear the chains? Well, you know, it's about my mother, Doc. It goes back a long way. Yes, of course, the mother. It always is. I just realized that if you double tap a direction as Ty, whoa! Can't hit me here. There's no way you could possibly get me with these fucking sweet moves. Question from Louis PSC. Was there someone in the audience who tried to stab? Yes. This is a rowdy crowd, a bloodthirsty crowd, and if they're not getting what they want, if I'm not performing up to their standards, they will bring down the hammer, by which I mean they will literally bring out a hammer and try to hammer the fighters to death. So... Jeez Louise. Yes, this game is kind of brutally difficult. I don't know if that's been established yet. Chucky saying that someone coming from the audience trying to stab is... That just sounds like Twitch. More or less, right? Fighting Polygon Team says, loving your commentary here. Why, thank you. I kind of hope it is a selling point. Jesus Christ, what happened to this guy? None of this is really a surprise to me. I've gone through this game before. I've written an article about it at ThatGameHallOfFame.com. But, you know, sometimes, you know, I stay away from a game for like 6 years, 7 years. Come back to it and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot just how goofy this is. For people asking, is his palette okay? Just wait till we see him on other consoles. We're gonna play every version of Pit Fighter today. Yes, every version. Because there was multiple. They really thought this was a banger. This did okay in the arcades. Okay enough that they brought it to basically everything that existed at the time. We're just doing this arcade version first as a sort of, you know, baseline. What it's supposed to look like. Stay in that corner. Oh, he got me with one good gut punch. Alright, that's enough of Ty. It's time for Kato. That bow at the beginning was just a free hit for the opponents. A totally studly performance, though, so... It cannot be denied. Crap Fiasco saying, you're going to play the Tiger LCD version. I have a copy of that. That is not dumped as of yet, I don't think. Unfortunately. Otherwise, that would be included. Maybe I'll play the Tiger Mortal Kombat. That's close enough, right? Louis PSC, I never touched an arcade... Wait, hold on, 1 second. I think this might be another Masked Warrior promo coming up. We'll die. Alright, I mean, succinct, to the point. Gotta fight her again. We're getting some repeat fights already in front of these photorealistic cars. I was mentioning Hydra earlier, and I forgot about that. This is what happens when I go solo. I forget all my tangents. Jesus Christ, we fucked that motorcycle up. Louis PSC said, I never touched an arcade in my teen years, but this feels like the arcade where people would make stories about the characters dying and high reality blood if Mortal Kombat was not a thing. Yeah, this was considered gory to an extent. I mean, there's blood. It's on screen. We're not decapitating anyone, per se, but... I mentioned Hydra before, and that's like a... I mentioned that it was built on the same hardware as this, except that is not a beat-em-up. That is a watercraft jet ski-type combat game. So, you know... We talk a lot about engines. One of my pet peeves is actually people who don't understand what an engine is, necessarily, saying, well, this game is built on the same engine as this, so why can I not do these things? Or, why does it perform so badly when this game that was better optimized? Or, you know, like, fun facts like, you know, Ocarina of Time was built on the same engine as Super Mario 64. That's not how anything works, I will have you know. But this is a case where... Engine in this case, when I say the word engine, I mean they use the same hardware. That you build a specific chipset for a game in the arcade, right? For your cabinet. And then you build another game that can utilize that specific hardware. So Hydra, or this, I don't remember which came first, but the scaling hardware facilitated the pseudo 3D, the 2.5D that worked in a game like Hydra, for example. So, in that sense, they are built on top of the same architecture. You notice that we're in the part of the game where we're fighting all the same people again. There's going to be some more gimmick matches coming up as well. Also, I can't help but notice that... Okay, there we go. I'm having a hard time executing... No, there we go. My punch-kick move came back. Which is very handy. Alright, there's my combo attack. It's harder than it sounds to get them to come out when you want them to come out. The special attacks. We got shanked there and died. That is a more than just a trip to the hospital. That is a puncture right in the guts. So we came back. As Kato's brother, I presume. The cute thing about this game is that if you play as any of the other player slots, player 2, player 3, they all have different colors for their pants. And that is how you differentiate between characters in the ring. Did he flip me off? Well, you pay the price for that one. Z-Reserve saying, System 16 has both games, meaning Pit Fighter and Hydra, coming out the same year, but Hydra got the MAD coverage earlier. Which, yeah, we'll say Hydra came first then. That sounds about right. It's the same way that, you know, Donkey Kong gets or that Radar Scope gets reconfigured, rebuilt as Donkey Kong, which is the third article on the site in the History of the Bad Game Hall of Fame, which means that we'll be getting to that sooner than later. Wait, was that number 3? It was early. That much I know for sure. But we will be getting to it one of these days, as I need excuses for stuff to stream, as I need to just, like, not look at the 1,300 games I have and get, like, overwhelmed by them and just be like, what's something I know is gonna stink?
This is a present from me to you.
Well, why, thank you, Jarky, for gifting to SeltAbe9091. Thank you for the subscription. Southside Jim is back. I'm gonna switch back to Buzz after this, after I inevitably die in this fight, after I get knocked out again. Oh, there's a power pill right there! Don't grab it, motherfucker. No, son of a bitch! Well, I guess we'll be seeing Buzz that much sooner, huh?
This is a present from me to you.
Putting out a gift sub to Video Game King. Thank you very kindly again. I don't deserve it. Not for this, anyway. think I beat the shit out of that poor lady in the audience. Well, not poor lady. I think she was coming out to attack us. And I kind of beat him to the punch. Alright, it's buzz time, baby. The buzz saw. That's a good wrestling gimmick. That's a good 80s wrestling gimmick name. It's the brother to the Hacksaw Jim Duggan. They get into a feud in whatever territory Hacksaw came from before WWE. Feuding brothers.
Finally made it. Friends.
Thank you for the raid, Freestar. You caught us playing Pit Fighter. Pit Fighter. I'm seeing hashtag extremely missed inputs. Why, I ain't missing a dime here. That's a record KO time you just tuned in for. Yeah, submit that to Guinness, to Twin Galaxies, to whoever deals with this shit now. It's, But are we totally Studley? I missed that. I missed if it said totally Studley. But we do have some free advice. No pain, no gain. This is the final stage, believe it or not. If you were playing cooperatively with other players, this is the part of the game where you would be forced to kill your teammates. You'd have to knock them out the game so you can face the final boss solo. I think you'd have the benefit of their company for fighting these two Chainman Eddies, who, as you saw at the beginning of the stage, were literally chained down to those little podiums there. Kind of a BDSM thing going on here, if we're thinking about it clearly for a second. Jeez Louise, it is tough with two of these folk. And again, if you're playing multiplayer, there are as many enemies as there are players. So you can have up to 3 enemies at a time. One down. I think he's down. He took that power pill, but it didn't help him much. Suddenly this got a lot easier. Just having one to focus on. Who'da thunk? There we go. Oh, you know what it is? I'm totally using this guy on the ground. He has like a collision box around him. So I'm sort of using that to my advantage to position where I want Chainman Eddie to be. Alright. Okay. Well, this is interesting. Oh, there we go. You just need to kick in the junk to wake him back up. That was very curious. He was stuck down there. He kind of just laid down while his teammate, while his brother, I suppose, his twin brother, got his ass whipped. If they had worked together, if only they had worked together, they probably could have gotten the better of me, but not quite here. And I just had to punt. You know what? Hold on. I want to experiment a little bit. Sorry for this horrible rewind effect. But I'm very curious about something. If there is any detection for this guy staying down. Okay. So imagine this happens in the arcade. You don't know, or you need to go take a piss break. How about this? Oh. Well, I got killed by someone in the audience. Doesn't affect us much. So, alright. Fast forward. Yeah, huh? Yeah, he's really staying down. Oh, but look at this! Our health is ticking down. Huh. So they had some measure in place for scam detection. So you couldn't go off and get a drink or what have you. The game would eventually get mad at you and just drain your health. Still, very curious. Interesting. That could even happen. That their AI could just break and they could just stay down. Oh, no, let me get that. I want to get one, at least one, during this. There we go. Did that even do a tick of damage to this Chainman Eddie? There is a pin move, apparently, if they're down and I press a multitude of buttons at once. Poor Buzz. We barely got to capitalize on that that power pellet. I mean, they're just steroids, right? I mean, that's the secret language the game is speaking in. Oh, I am just stuck in this corner. I live here now. This guy is way tougher than his brother. Video Game King says, it's like Crank. Your fighter will die if he doesn't constantly keep his adrenaline up by fighting. Yeah, Jason Statham really needed to get cast in this game in 1990 before he had an acting career. This would have been his real big break. And he could have became a superstar as opposed to, you know, the total, like, C-tier nothing he is today, right? I do love a Crank. I think Crank is one of my favorite movies of all time. It ages like a fine milk in certain ways, but in others it is just a masterpiece of editing. Totally stunning. So what are we at? Like, we're at like 27 minutes. We've been playing this for like 25 minutes, give or take. I've lost track of how many theoretical coins we've put into this machine, but there can only be one. Intimidating. Let's start by tossing all this plunder at him. If you need me, I'll be over here, sir. Oh no, he figured it out. He figured out the secret. He figured out what I was trying to do. Alright, maybe this will even the playing field a little bit. Oh my god, there's just so much shit on the screen right now. And when there's a bunch of objects in the way, all your inputs get muddled by it. The game isn't sure if you're trying to do your pile driver, if you're trying to pick up the barrels. Oh, son of a bitch. Well, two can play at that game, sir. Unless he took both of them at the same time. Which, come on, share. Bring enough for the class. Yeah, that power-up is gonzo. Paul S. saying there was a gay YouTube channel called Bears and Games. So gay in the sense that it is literally a gay man. Good for him. There was a video on this where the creator admits to having a poster of the game in his room when he was younger just so he can look at Chain Man whenever he wanted. Oh, that's adorable. God bless him. I mean, I get it. I mean, I don't get it. I don't go for men personally, but you know, it's. But I would get it. What if Chain Man was a chain woman? That's a reboot idea. Atari, I know you're into the NFTs and like the hotels and whatnot, but in the scam consoles. But hit me up. I know what franchise could do with a modern day reboot, more relevant now than it was back in the day, with the rise of MMA and the like. Where's our Pit Fighter reboot, Atari? I'm trying to use my normals now because I'm having such bad luck getting my my specials to stick. Oh my god, I think he snapped our neck. Our palette changed as he snapped our neck. Also, I cannot change my fighter anymore. I've lost the option to change to a Tai or a Kato. Jeez Louise. I'm so lucky to get, like, an attack in. This is just quarter munching at its worst. I'm sure there's a way. I'm sure there's some circuitous method to do this without taking any damage whatsoever. That probably involves running circles around the ring and and waiting like for these tiny windows of opportunity to attack where you won't immediately get attacked yourself. Baiting him into your super moves, something. But that ain't me. Don't come to these streams expecting me to play games well. Just expect me to play them. You know what I mean? We are the new champion. We have the ring girls to prove it. Oh, I should enter some initials, huh? The classic. Let's take a look at these credits. Bill Chase, I wonder if that is a... I wonder if he was an actual wrestler at some point. I don't remember if I did any research into that at any point. Finale women. Yeah, so that was a Pit Fighter. That was the arcade version. We'll jump into another version of this game shortly. But, yeah. This game did quite well in arcades. Don't you worry. They made their money back on this one. And then followed up with Guardians of the Hood at a certain point, which is just the worst beat-em-up. That's quite a high score, if I do say so myself. So if you want a high score at your arcade, just come into, and they happen to have this cabinet. If you want to have a score that will be recognized throughout the ages, just bring like $10 worth of quarters. There's the sound on the attract screen. That's what I was waiting for before. So let's enjoy this with sound. Even this alone would have been impressive. I mean, the point of attract modes is to attract players in your arcade to convince them to part with their... Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, jeez, never mind. That would put me off this machine pretty quick. So... Sharky asking, is Guardians of the Hood a future stream I get involved in? I'm sad to say, Sharky, but yes. There's our high score again. Preserve for all eternity. Winners do not use drugs. Alright, that was the arcade version. I'm not going to do these chronologically, because I do not remember the chronological order of these. But we're going to jump into... Let's see, what version do I want to jump into first? How about we go in order of... Let's say what we think the best versions of it should be, based on hardware. So let's go with the Super NES version. How about that? You could pretty safely assume the SNES version can't stray too far, right, from what we were just looking at. You can't miss the mark that badly. Pit Fighter, Pit Fighter. Ooh. Oh. Little rough around the edges, just from out the gate, just looking at this attract mode. We do not have the arcade opening. We do not have any scaling. This is a fight for the ages, though. I was going to say I'm curious to see how that turns out, but of course the CPU wins. Cool. Only 2 player support in this one. Let's go with Buzz. Especially because left and right were not working to select different characters. You'll see we actually have numerical health in this. That it is draining fast. Give me a second to figure out my controls, my man. Alright, that button is jump, so the top button, I don't remember if that's SNES, if that's Nintendo X or Y. And we're out. And wait for it. Yeah, game over. Oh, what's that? No continues? Oh, it just ends? The first time you get knocked out? Well, that is curious, isn't it? Yeah, so this is a little rough as far as conversions go. I also can't help but notice that my special moves are not working. That I am pressing a multitude of buttons all at once, and nothing is happening. Maybe let's try L and R. They'll certainly work as alternate punches and kicks. Let me press every button on the controller all at once. I'm doing some sweet rolls. Oh, what do you know? Another game over. Ha. Frappe Fiasco saying, wait, this is SNES? I thought this was like the Master System version. We'll get to that! We will get to that. How do I select a fighter? No. I'm gonna go through all the controls. Select. Of course it was select. Why did I... Why can you select a blank? Why is there a blank slot there? Curious. Well, maybe the problem is Buzz. Let's try Kato. And, you know, they do mention what the power moves are here, the special moves. So, they should theoretically exist in this game, right? Cool. Again, I love how his bow at the beginning means a free hit for the opponent. A bunch of free hits for the opponent. I cannot get out of this. Alright, punching is working. Not well, mind you, but it's working more than chasing those special moves was working. Kick, kick, stay away from me. Yeah, that's about right. That feels about as well as that was gonna go. Let me look up SNES Pit Fighter power moves. There must be some sort of arcane inputs for these that I am not figuring out on my own some. Video Game King reporting a quote from the cutting room floor, by the way. The SNES Pit Fighter is a lousy port of the arcade game, confirmed. It is notable for being nearly impossible, as you rarely regain health, even. Alright, I'm looking at these controls, and you do have the benefit of an extra button here, according to this. It says that the Y button is used to block attacks. That's interesting. A plus up arrow lifts the enemy. B plus down arrow makes the character duck down. Useless. B plus up arrow launch a jump kick. We have the cartwheels. They do not say... Oh, when a player has accumulated super power, as shown to the right of the SP in the score area, then pressing the L and R or R will cause the character to begin his special super move. The player receives a superpower after successfully completing a match. Okay, so you just can't do your super moves whenever you want. It's not just all willy-nilly. You gotta survive some fights, and then you are blessed with the ability to do a super move once in a fight. Eat defeat. Alright, so we're just gonna have to find a way to get through this. I don't think blocking is gonna get us anywhere. I think kicks are this man's most effective tool. I said most effective. I didn't say it was very effective. I just said it was the most. A matter of comparison. Oh, geez, Louise, come on. Have a heart, buddy. You know, call me crazy, but this ain't a great version of Pit Fighter, which was already not a great game. I'm gonna cheat this, because this does seem legitimately fucking impossible. So let's rewind a little bit. 31 health. Let's see how much it gives us back. Let's see how much it's willing to recover between fights. Awesomely done. Yeah, don't lie to me. Don't piss on me and tell me it's raining, boyo. Let's... Bobinator, at Bad Game Hall of Fame, would you call this the objectively worst SNES game? They're all tied for worst in my mind. Yeah, I'm totally doing my super move here. I don't know how well it's connecting. It finally connected. I noticed that we did not regain any health between those fights. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. Alright, let's see something. Let's see some, let's do some real cheating. How about that? There's gotta be cheats for this. There's no way. There are not. I don't know, I've made jokes. I've joked before, many a time, and I will continue to joke about how I do not care for the Super Nintendo, how there's just no games that really appeal to me on it. But yeah, I'd be willing to concede that this is a whole other level of bad. Start with more energy, start with less energy, start with a lot more energy, start with 3 superpowers. Is there not just an infinite energy? Okay, infinite health. Very good. Kill enemies with 1 hit? Yeah, sure, why not? Enemy 2, that's cute that you can make them just constantly go into their pose state. That's adorable. Give me infinite specials. Why don't you? Let's just break this game. Assuming these work. As long as you're doing it, I'm going with Buzz. Watch these cheats not work at all. Oh, no, never mind. Great fight. Awesomely done. I might need to disable the no health on enemies. Okay, as fun as this would be, as fun as the no contact KOs are conceptually, I can't just do that. There has to be some sort of gameplay here, right? Kill enemies with 1 hit. I assumed that when they said 1 hit, you would actually have to hit them. That was my error in understanding. They take 1 look at you and die of shock. Devil Hunter Wolf says, another heart attack. Colonel, what's going on here? Oh, we've made it to the grudge match. Cracky saying, this is what Dim Mak is, right? Yeah! The deadly fighting martial art. This screen looks so low rent. Whoa, they had a voice! They had a little voice line there. Let's rewind and hear that again. Dustly? Justwick? Not sure what he said. They could have used a subtitle there. Okay, some of these moves are actually damaging me, but my health is going back up. So this cheat must work by, like, doing replenishment in the background of some sort. Video Game King insists that it is just wait. Frappe Fiasco says just wank. I think it's just wank. I think I can decipher the code. It's just wank. That's what they said. Oh, wait, I have infinite super moves, don't I? Really doesn't want them to work. There we go. How much damage are these doing? Like 22? Yeah, there are more powerful moves than just the super moves, so I'm just gonna rely on punching. Video King asking, why is Angel's health just so obscenely high? Ask that about any enemy in this game, why don't you? Boy howdy, this sure is a game, boy oh I tell ya. Yeah, this seems like it'd be fucking impossible. Also, is it only the 1 stage? Is it just this 1 arena? And part of the appeal of the real version of this game is like going to the car park, throwing motorcycles, going to the bar, getting to a proper bar fight. I could not spring for that. Smevel Bear saying the key to the SNES version is to pick tie and do the elbow move over and over again. That does sound like a sound strategy. The other key to it is just the cheat, which is what I elected for. It's too late to alter course now. Literally, because if you game over, you can't just change fighters, it just game overs. Do you think there's someone, some crazy person out there who has cracked the code on this game, who has 100% completed it legitimately, who's gotten through the whole kip and caboodle, who's just practiced so much of this game? I noticed that our health is 511 now. That's pretty significant. That's double what we started with. Granted, it's
Just wink.
just wink. Granted, we are cheating. Also, Chainman Eddie, not quite as intimidating in this version of the game. Also, I noticed we are in front of the subway, so there are different levels. It's just hard to tell. It just doesn't matter so much in this version, where there's no, like, things to pick up. Yeah, there's no, like, knives, no cars, no nothing. Just your bare fists and your moxie. I wonder if that's down to content restriction. I wonder if that's down to Nintendo being like, you're not putting knives in this game. You're not having people stabbing each other to death in these illegal street fights. No siree, Bob. I wasn't expecting to play through this whole thing. I wasn't expecting to cheat. I was expecting to get like a couple rounds in being like, that's the SNES version. Because I remembered this. I remembered it being like this. So... I pick him up, I put him down, I pick him up again, baby. Imagine showing up to a wrestling show and seeing this. Buzz is quite the showman. Are we missing any fighters in this? I believe some of these versions are missing whole fighters. Do we remember fighting Southside Jim in this? Did Southside Jim get the axe? Fortunate if so. Very good. There's apparently a speedrun of this game. You may be familiar with speedruns. It's where people play the games as speedily as possible. 6 minutes this can be beaten in. Presumably without cheats. I am not at that level.
Just wink.
I'm just winking, dude. Don't worry. I wonder if this one is as easy as it feels. If this fight here, if I could have literally won this without infinite health just by pressing one button. Maybe there's something to the 6-minute speedrun after all. Maybe this is more doable than I thought it was. Do I turn the cheats off? No. No, I do not. We still have other versions of this game to play. I just want to see what the Masked Warrior looks like in this. My morbid curiosity has just gotten the better of me. It's the Executioner again. Special moves not working on him. Oh, there we go. This seems much slower than just mashing punch. Hit them while they're down. Buzz had to have been a heel, right? There's no way this guy was a babyface. He just looks very hateable. We don't even get to see this fat stacks of cash underneath the forklift. It just slowly goes up a little bit. So the presentational flourishes that made the arcade version, like, even vaguely, like, attractive to people, just completely absent from this. Who needs them? That was the easiest $150,000 that anyone has ever made in a professional fight, right there. Yeah, I punched him 3 times, and that was...
Just wink.
gotta be close to the end. Rio D's saying more like shit fighter. That's the joke I was looking for. That would have succinctly summated this whole horrible endeavor. Whoa, that was a really loud yell from the crowd. Someone is not liking this fight. Is not appreciating the effort these two combatants are putting in. They're putting it all out there. Their blood, their sweat, their tears. Their special moves. We indeed made it. Video Game King saying, there's probably sprite or memory limitations. They couldn't afford to render that many sprites at once or store different size piles of money and memory to swap out. This game barely... I mean, I guess, yeah, they do have a variety of characters here that they would have had to have broken up into chunks for the sprite bank, so maybe there is... You know, maybe they really did run out of space at a certain point. I was gonna say there's so little happening in this game. But, you know, yeah, these digitized sprites, not cheap. It's impressive that they managed to make them look as good as they look, I guess. I mean, granted, they're super scaled down. It lacks it has 0% of the impressiveness of the arcade version. It is a meaningless gimmick here, translated into this. Also, only one Chain Man that we have to face here, unless we face Chain Man Eddie again immediately thereafter. I know the slap bass has been mentioned already, but yeah, the Genesis can't do this. Alright, this should be the last fight. Mercifully. Here comes Ult. And boy howdy does he wobble when he moves. It's like there's one sprite in his walk cycle that like is like a step higher, is like 2 pixels higher, and it just looks bad. It doesn't look good, I can tell you that much. Now let's do our supers on him. Let's end this last fight in style. Oh, reversal! Collusion? Yeah, it seems like using your special moves, if you had them saved up for this fight, you would not actually want to use them, because he counters it every time. That's just a free game tip from me to you. Your old pal Cass, to whoever was considering playing this game after watching this, who's just so compelled by what's going on here that they gotta try for themselves. Do we get ring girls? Will money fly through the air? Anything? Cool belt? A song in my honor? Oh, the enemy disappeared, so that's cool, I guess. I had to press a button to get to the game over screen there. It was going to hang on that forever. Cool! So that was a Super Nintendo version of Pit Fighter, and boy howdy, if that was probably the most powerful piece of hardware in terms of the home and handheld spectrum to house this game, if that's the best you could expect to get outside of the arcade, then boy howdy, we're in trouble. Let's go with the Genesis version. This can't be as bad, right? Could it be worse? Yeah, indeed. Let me see if I can scale the window. Yeah, there we go. This is cute. Cute little intro sequence here. Are we gonna get a version of the arcade intro? Yeah. I wonder if this means that you'll get the flashing lights at the end of this, though. That would be unfortunate if so. Yeah, so the color depth is lesser, to say the least. But, you know, they have this. Unlike the SNES version, they have a version of this. Oh, they even skip the flashing strobe light effect. So already, good version of the game. Definitive version. We even have some options in it. Normal, practice. I'll just do normal. We'll see how far we can get. Now, C to exit. Give me start. I'll give Ty a shot this time around. Show no mercy. I wasn't intending to. Alright, so we don't have the sprite scaling. We barely have stage scrolling. We have immediate access to our specials. Ooh. I may have just landed on something here. Jumping kicks straight to your heart. Alright, maybe not as effective. They figured it out eventually. Regular kick seems just fine. You can do what you want with him, crowd. He's yours. Alright, so competent so far. I mean, granted, it's a weaker version of what was already a fairly weak game, but, you know, it plays more or less the same. It's maybe a little more forgiving, which I'm not going to say no to. It has plunder in the ring. The lack of scrolling, definitely a mark against it. That was definitely the killer feature, the impressive thing, beyond just the digitized graphics, was seeing those graphics get closer and further from the camera. But we'll live without it. This is the Genesis version for Frappe Fiasco. Mega Drive version for folk who are so inclined. Hey, if he walks into us, that's his own fault. If I just keep doing this, eventually he will. Maybe not. Oh, I got hit by him bouncing off the floor and back into me? Is this better or worse presentation-wise than the SNES version? The color depth, the graphics definitely, you know, less impressive, the character sprites. But, you know, it plays a lot better. It has more stuff that pops up in the ring. The sprites are still small as all get out, but who is to say? It is subjective, I would think. Oh boy, this guy does not want to go down. Alright, you're making me have to do this. I've not understood why this game of all games had a 100 console conversions. I can't scroll up all the way in chat. I would like to. Why this game of all games got so many ports, Video Game King answered with, it was probably a combination of Tengen playing off this game's reputation as an impressive, edgy arcade game, and they're wanting to maximize profit by developing a shit ton of cheap ports. You're telling me they didn't put their full effort into this? Let's bring Kato out. That the bow at the top will cost us every time. Oh man, she juggled us! Didn't even know that was possible. Angel is tough. Or maybe Kato just sucks. Well, the jumping kick strategy is working again, so... I do not feel the need to complete this game completely in its entirety. Like I did the SNES version, the arcade version. We're gonna fly through some of these, or we're gonna play till we run out of credits. How's that? How's that for a rule? Dodge that barrel. Why isn't their health just up at all times? Why does their health go... I know why it is. It's because when there's multiple enemies on the screen, the game wants to be like, you know, the one that you're attacking, this is your health bar. But when it's just one-on-one fights, there ain't no reason to hide. Let me get that damn power up. Here we go. Oh, I don't like that effect one bit. And just punch him out to end this, or kick him. Whatever comes first. Totally. Studley. This seems like a competent version of this game. As good as... For as much as that means. For as little as that means. If I was a Pit Fighter fan, if I had come from the arcade and I had been like, man, that was the greatest game I've ever played, I just wish there was a version of it at home. This exists. I can't remember if we played as Ty. I think we started as Ty. I think I have not played as Buzz. As my go-to guy. My champion, my pit fighter. That's alright, he'll have his chance. I think we have like 5 more versions of this game to get through. Man, how quickly I run out of steam when it comes to these. When it comes to these beat-em-ups. It's not my preferred genre. You can call this a fighting game, you can call this a beat-em-up, you can call it either or. I'd probably lean more towards beat-em-up because of the up and the down movement. Even though these are, you know, one-on-one fights, these are duels, these are to the death. It's the mechanics of a beat-em-up in the guise, in the context of a fighting game. And this was 1990. I think this port was 1990 as well, actually. I think this was the first. This was the premiere, if I'm looking at the dates correctly here. But, you know, this is just has never been my favorite genre of game. And this is not a particularly great one of these games. Oh no, we lost that one. I don't think that counts as an actual loss. They're just mean to us because we lost it. They will just call us a loser. Oh, there's a lot of plunder in this one. Oh, we're back to when you press punch and kick at the same time. Our guide is begging off. That must be like a Chainman Eddie thing. It must be like for enemies who are bigger than you, that special attack just doesn't work. I guess that is a feature they retained from the arcade game. Maybe it's because we have low health. Maybe we don't have the energy to do that move anymore, but we can still do this special. Oh, they're giving us one more credit. Alright. Do your thing, Buzz. Very effective. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Wait, is it actually doing any damage, or is he just backing off of us? That's the question. Are we just wasting time here? I'll also do a regular kick if that's the case. Well, I want to do a pile driver to him. If he did one to us, I want to be able to get one in too. Body slam. I think it's directionally based. I think if I'm not holding down any direction buttons as I do it, I might get the pile driver. Or something like that. Alright, come for me, boy. Oh, he's wising up. He knows what we're trying to do, and he's doing his damnedest to avoid it. think that is the end of our run here. Not gonna give you infinite continues in this version, in case you rented it from Blockbuster and you gotta get your money's worth out of it. If you want to rent it for another weekend. Level 3. I could have sworn we were more fights deep than that, but I'll take the word of the game itself. It must be like the levels must be between the grudge matches. The grudge matches must count as the end of levels as you. Anyway, that was the Genesis version of Pit Fighter. And next, we're going to go with the Amiga version. The Commodore Amiga. I have that here somewhere. I will load this in PUAE. So, while this loads, while this does its thing, the next game we're going to play, if I do these solo streams, if I continue with these, or maybe they don't even need to be solo streams, these recap streams, as I go through the backlog of Bad Game Hall of Fame articles that I can... article subjects that I can bring back as streams. Looks like next would be Radar Scope. So if I were to do a Radar Scope night, I'd probably play all of Nintendo's weird arcade games pre-Donkey Kong. That'd be something to do, right? Coin-op conversion by Tech. We have this. The intro's intact. Then, looks like after Radar Scope night, we'd have a Castlevania The Adventure night. I could do that in about like 30-40 minutes probably. I'd have to find some other stuff to play around that. Super 3D Noah's Ark, Night Trap. Man, we got some games. We have 75 articles up on the site. 74, actually. But close enough. We round up. So yeah, that's a backlog in and of itself to get through. Now, that's as much intro as we're gonna get, I reckon. Who is our fighter? Who do we play as? I'll go Kato. Ha! Alright, so Amiga, okay. I guess we get to see him for like a second. No sound effect, no nothing, but... oh, we have some scrolling here. Not the smoothest scrolling I've seen in my life. But yeah, I was gonna say, the thing about the Amiga controller, or, you know, putting a controller into your Amiga, is that it is a joystick and a single button. And the joystick ain't working. Oh, there we go. I was, like, locked in place at the beginning of the fight. We got one button for this. I wonder how the special moves would work in this. So we have the scaling, but at what cost? Complete lack of music, for one thing. Oh, I figured out how to pick him up. And by figured out, I mean I mashed buttons, and something good happened. By pure chance. Kick them while they're down. It is the most effective strategy. This has two-player mode, too, so... ooh, okay, so they managed to recreate the screen. They have the money, but they don't have any of the spectators. Trade-offs. Bespoke unique versions. It is interesting to see the changes they make, the concessions they make in recreating some of the killer features. Some of the presentational things of the game. Also, I'm going to say this crowd is strange. Okay, there we go. So they are on the edges, but there's like a few people who are like in the middle of the arena over here. What happens if I walk into them? Oh, how did he toss that crate vertically? I can't toss it vertically, I don't think. I wanted to kick him while he was down, but the input here... oh, there we go. It's down and forward to kick while they're down. Record KO? Alright, so immediate impressions is that having just one button, it looks like they simplified the game around that. That they made it mechanically more simple to compensate for what I presume would be a lack of super moves, special moves. Or this a lack of easy ways to input them. We're just gonna trade knockdowns here. Unless I back off from it and not. The animation quality has definitely suffered on here. You loser. Here's $5,000, give or take, for losing. You loser. Oh! There was a voice line there. Let's hear that. It sounds a lot more like Just Wait in this version as opposed to Just Wank. Sad to say. Oh, look at that bar in the background. That has definitely suffered in the conversion process. I would love to pick up some of these items here. Yeah, so fluidity-wise, not great. Genesis version, superior. I mean, granted, it doesn't have the scaling. And the scaling is a big problem here, is why this looks as janky as it does in some respects. Because the sprites constantly changing their scale, shrinking horizontally and vertically, but not at the same time. Like, let me go up and down, and yeah, you'll see, like, as we reach different points, like, the aspect ratio on our character changes. As a matter of fact, is it just doing vertical? Like, we're getting wider as we go further back, and we're getting skinnier as we move closer up. So yeah, it can only scale on one plane, is what it looks like, which results in a lot of the visual inconsistency. And I bet the game has a hard time even tracking you across these different vertical planes. Because the AI is definitely struggling to keep up with us. The hit detection is definitely struggling as I attempt to hit these people. Jeez Louise, lady! Oh my god! That was like half her health! Come on! I'll just keep doing this backflip move. For whatever it's worth. That was not a new record. Sad to say. They said it was awesomely done, though. You know, that's the kind of validation I need right now. I certainly don't get it from my chat. K-Cast, off topic, but what do you think of Skeletor going to COD? Is Skeletor in Call of Duty now? I have not kept up with Call of Duty news in a while. Unfortunately. Not since Advanced Warfare. The last Call of Duty I loved. I guess I did play a bit of Call of Duty Mobile when I was really down bad, but... Man, Call of Duty, huh? I used to be one of the best in the world at Modern Warfare 2. If I do dare to say, if I do dare to make that claim. I was very into Call of Duty for a period of time. The time is long since passed. I was one of the people who left around the time of Ghost, who was burnt out, who's like, okay, well, this is over, or whatever, you know, the thing I loved is now kind of on its way out. You know what I mean? But, you know, if all they have now at this point is stunt casting, that just kind of goes to show to me that they're, you know, probably not focusing so much on, like, improving the gameplay at this point anymore, right? Or that they're making so much money, hand over fist over whatever their PUBG mode, their Battle Royale mode is. And that's not what I come to Call of Duty for, believe it or not. I came there for the, you know, the team-based multiplayer, the one team versus another team, or deathmatch, you know. But like that style of thing for the loadouts and the like. Chain Man. Not Chain Man Eddie, just the Chain Man. They couldn't afford those extra characters, I guess. It's a shame you can't change your character between matches here. Jeez Louise! Once these guys get you, once they get you locked into something, it is hard to get unlocked. I want to toss that barrel because I think there's There has to be a P inside of that, right? I want to see if the P's are intact here. Let him toss that. Get that out of the crowd. Yeah, I knew it! Aw, oh, come on. I was angling for it and I couldn't get it. Yeah, this would be... I wonder if there is a way to do the super moves here. Like some arcane, obtuse series of inputs, relying entirely on your joystick, your analog, and your one button that you get. Stay down. Just let me keep kicking you while you're down. No? Well, alright. If you insist. Bay. Now let's go with bad. They did put 2 B skin in Rainbow... in Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, according to Louis PSC. Huh. Crossover of the century. Alright, that's enough of the Amiga version. That is certainly a version. I got another home console release. This was mentioned earlier. But the Sega Master System, we're going to see what this looks like. Alright. I'm picking up what they're laying down. There are some secrets in this game. I do want to get as far as to get to the secret in this game. High scores, Pit Fighter, Show No Mercy, Are You Tough? Andy Taylor, Matt Hicks. They gave up on the gimmick at a certain point and writing these high scores out. Alright. Pit Fig. Who do we play as? I'll go with Buzz again. We have some of the digitized sprites here, but I don't believe that will last. Yeah, okay, so presentation-wise, this is a bit of a step down. We've traded in the digitized sprites for these drawn sprites, these recreations. I'm not mad at this. For the Master System, this is fine. You have the pause button. If I press A and B simultaneously, yep, okay, so we have the super move. If we do up and B, we do the jumping kick. I wonder if this version of the game is going to replenish our health between fights. Now we're back to the forklift, but sans money. That's fine. Half the way there. How does it play? Asked Frappe Fiasco. Not well. It's not great. It's a little loosey-goosey. We do not get our health replenished between fights. That was too much to hope for. Alright, we do have plunder. We also have corruption here, where the crowd is supposed to be. I wonder if that is just emulation. That is probably just emulation. Alright, we are... Continue game. Yeah, I suppose I will, huh? Is it gonna make me play as Buzz again? Yeah. No changing characters between... There's probably, like, one move in this game. If I do this flying kick, I could probably just go... like this. And probably do alright for myself. Doesn't let you pick up mid-fight, though, as you may have noticed. When you lose a fight, you gotta start that fight from the beginning. So that is a change. An unfair one, considering that when you you know, start the fight, you don't replenish your health or anything, so... Huh. I can't move when I have this box. Luckily, Southside Jim was struggling, so he bought me some time. Oh, I see what they want to do there. They want to make it so you have to just commit to the direction that you picked up the box in. See? Even he's locked into that. There we go. Power. Power up. I do not feel more powerful. I guess I'm doing more damage per attack, but... I can't say I felt that viscerally, flowing through my veins as I had that power up. Grudge match time. Go down. Also, there's no color differentiation between these two, so good luck figuring out who you are. I'm the one doing the jump kicks, hoping that it actually knocks them down at some point, which it does not appear it will do, so I guess I'm going to have to try for that. Alright, we found the only thing that works to actually knock him down in this mode, and it is our specials. Grudge bonus. Don't mind if I do. Just wait. Okay, so we have clarification. It is not just Wink. At least not in this version. It could still be just... It could still just be just Wink in the arcade version, for all we know. So we're going through all the different stages here. You know, for what it's worth. We seem to have all the fighters. That is a strange bit of graffiti on the train there. In the fact that it is colored differently from everything else around it. Oh no, she has the power up. This can't end well. Well, power up as you might, a knife to the gut's still a knife to the guts. And knife toss. I could have probably capitalized on that a little better, but, you know. Why is she running into the crowd? Why does the AI do that? There are times that are just like, well, I don't feel like fighting this person. I want to remember that I can, you know, remind myself that I can, in fact, beat the shit out of people, so I'll beat up some jabroni in the crowd. And don't mind if I do. I will take this happily. I think I picked up a shuriken. I think I whiffed the shuriken. Oh no, don't tell me that. Oh wait, no, I'm up! Granted, I have like no health, so... I thought I was down, that the match was just over. And I was gonna have to restart it with her at full health, me at full health. But no. It just means I go into the next fight, immediately get knocked out, and then I get my health replenished. Match 4. No pain, no gain. Alright. Oh, this is the stage that should have the cars and the motorcycles, but alas. Those are absent. Those did not make the cut. And again, this corruption is not the most flattering look at the game, but... I've seen as much of that as I need to see, I think. I would hope y'all have too. So we're going to not continue, but we are going to... quick save here. And try out a few different codes. I hate EDOM, which must be a developer's nickname or something. Let's see what this does. EDOM Eden and more Eden, cottage cheese brie, Cannabear, Stilton Swiss cheese, blue Danish cheddar, red something or other. Okay, so that first one is just... Okay, and Frappe Fiasco figured out before I did there that it's a type of cheese. Good to know. So these are just secret messages in the game. There's a second one here, along the same lines. I hate level, which, as you all know, is a type of cheese. So... Pit Fighter, show no mercy. Are you tough? I am a cheat at the bottom. So that's a really underwhelming one. This one seems a little funnier. I love Nintendo. That one maxes out the amount of characters we can type in. I'm expecting hilarity here. Are you mad? Alright, underwhelming. But now this last one is sure not to underwhelm. Marco? Polo? No, Marco Football. Oh dear God. I should have remembered this. I did not remember this. I thought it was... I knew it was going to be a mini game. I thought it was going to be a football mini game. Alright, that was the Master System version of Pit Fighter. No way in hell are we sitting through that. Alright. That leaves us with 2.5 versions of this game left to play. We're gonna go for... Oh no, 3.5. I miscounted. Okay. Atari Lynx versus Game Boy. Which do we think is more powerful? I'm gonna say the Atari Lynx. Let's do the Atari Lynx version of Pit Fighter. Let's see what this looks like. I know what this looks like already. Oh boy. Yeah, this is as brown as I remember. Programmed by Al Baker himself. They'll give us 6 credits for this. Oops, no, I didn't. I actually wanted to go through the character select. I tap the button. Let's go with Buzz. This is another 2-button console, so... Theoretically, A and B should be the only buttons I need to press in combination to do my super moves, but looks like that is not happening. You know, the sprites are big. Granted, big is relative, because we're dealing with a very tiny screen here. There is scaling! Granted, the scaling effect is not convincing. This game sure is losing frames. Ooh, this is clunky. Oh, we've already gone through... Oh, no, I didn't even realize that we accidentally selected the fighter already. We're playing as Kato now, I guess. Yes, we have forfeited a life. Steve Swagger says, I remember getting my ass handed to me in this game. Yeah. Yeah, I can see it. I'm definitely struggling. I can't hit him while he's down. I'm doing the animation for hitting him while he's down, but it is not making contact. I am not on the right plane of existence for that to work. Hit starts. Oh, when they say hit start, they mean hit the one of the buttons that is not starts. Press A or B. Bring it home, Buzz. Yeah, when the graphics are all monochrome, as this is, boy howdy, imagine playing this on an actual handheld, no backlights. And, you know, basically like 2 inches wide. And, yeah, this would just blend together. This would be a mass of brown splotches that are completely indistinguishable from one another. But, you know, you can tell they're digitized sprites. You can tell that he put on a shirt for one sprite, Southside Jim, because his shirt turned gray. Yeah, the constant color changes here. Yeah, that doesn't look good. It's like they just straight up did like a color depth reduction. They took the full color sprites in, and they left it to software to determine, alright, what are the dominant colors in this frame of animation? And let the algorithm decide it on a frame-by-frame basis. And the result is that each sprite is completely incongruous to one another as they cycle through different animations. Let's go, Kato. Alright, we're getting somewhere. Getting nowhere fast, but, you know, that's... What's crazy is that, like, every game feels like it controls completely differently. You know, whether they have 3 buttons, 2 buttons, 4 buttons, or, you know, if they... Games that both have 2 buttons can still feel completely different from one another. So this version and the last one we played, the Master System version. Same inputs, but completely different application of those inputs. This stage is the better stage because the background is blue. You can actually see your characters against it. And as Louis PSC is pointing out, no forklift, just money on these screens. Just wait. Look for Power Pill. The way the frame rate is going is absolutely wild. Like, when the CPU isn't having to think, I think the frame rate goes up to, like, a full 60, and then when we're actually in the midst of combat, it can drop down to as low as, like, 10. Oh, I accidentally selected the fighter again without even realizing it. The power thing is absolutely going to be inside of that barrel again. Or not. Must be the other barrel. There is no other barrel. There's a chair, though. Yeah, this version is, I'm gonna make a bold claim here. Not particularly great to play. Kind of impressive. I mean, it's more impressive than the SNES version, somehow. Looks better than that. Maybe plays a little better than that. Certainly more fair than that version is in terms of giving you continues, giving you, like, a chance to play through the game. Maybe someone could master this. But yeah, you know, it's not shocking that this was, you know, Atari's handheld, and this was their game in the arcade, so they probably put some amount of effort into making sure that this version of the game looked the part, looked okay. I don't want to play any more of this. It still sucks to play, and ultimately that is, like, the more important thing than the presentation here, right? Win one more fight, if I can. And I've thus far not figured out how to do any of the special moves. Which, you know, you would think would be important. Crepe Fiasco says that I don't want to play anymore, this is the Bad Game Hall of Fame slogan. No, the Bad Game Hall of Fame slogan is, this is better than I thought it was. I want to keep playing this. That's what it should be. You know, the goal is to seek out games that were unfairly maligned. We haven't found any of those tonight, boy howdy. Alright. let's let this, let's run out of credits here. Bad. End of game. No more, no less. How long are you gonna hang on this? I'm pressing the buttons. I'm mashing the buttons. Fast forward. Wow, when they say end of game, they mean it. They mean reset your console. How are you supposed to see your name on the high score screen if this is where the game ends? Huh. Alright, that's really the end of the Atari Lynx version. Which means we're going into the Game Boy version. And, you know, if the SNES version is anything to go off of, this is going to be a great version of this game. There was no intro cinematic on this. We just gotta press start, select. I think they each have one less move. They only have 2 of their moves represented here on this list. Maybe that happened in previous versions of the game too, but I'm only noticing it now. You're not good enough. I'm probably not. They're probably right about that. Alright, punch button and jump. Oh, kick. It is kick. But when I do up and B, it is not a jumping kick. It is just a jump. Ooh, yeah, this is, boy howdy, let me tell you, this is a rough version of this game. Jaunty tune, but... yeah, this is mechanically similar to the SNES version. I bet when we game over, when we lose a single life, it is game over. Video Game King saying, where was this cinema in the 30s? It does have a silent film vibe to it, doesn't it? You know, people in the theaters, when they watched Pit Fighter the movie, they were terrified because they thought that Chain Man Eddie was going to come out the screen and chain them to death. Stupid silent film watchers. Wait, I went from like 26 health to 2, down to 0. What's he doing to me? Still the best! That's a cute little screen. Yeah, and that's it, huh? Oh boy. Well, let's see if we can at least get past one fight in this, and I only know of one way to do that. Oh wait, no, I don't want to make my own cheat. Let's just load a cheat file, why don't we? Nintendo Game Boy. Give me a P. P. Give me an I. Infinite energy. 99 gems. That must be the special move gems, if this is like the SNES version. I got 99 gems and a pit ain't one. Alright, let's see what this does for us. Starts me at 86. I don't see where the gems would be here. Select is duck, I just realized, so maybe you can dodge everything just by ducking. Except for those grab moves. Also, I do not believe we have infinite health. Or maybe we do, because I just got pile driven and did not lose any health for it. Did not make this game any easier to play, somehow. Down to 46. If we truly have infinite health... okay, yeah, went back up to 83. I wonder if they can do so much damage to me so quickly that it actually exceeds the infinite health cheat, that I actually get to 0 and it counts as me dying. So it's still possible to die in this game? Maybe? Very studly. I'm just gonna roll on out of here. Oh, I see the gem. It says AB in very missable text there. So assuming I press A and B at the same time, it should unlock a super move in this fight. So we'll get to see that before I abandon this and never consider playing this ever again. Yeah, there's a pile driver. Barely did anything in terms of damage, but... we're definitely doing it. And now we are no longer doing it because we are out of that. So the Infinite Gems cheat, not quite working order. I'm sure there is a way to remedy that. I could look into that if I really wanted to. If I really wanted to master this version of this game. Well, I guess I wouldn't really be mastering. I'd be cheating, which I not necessarily master. I don't want to play this anymore. This might be the worst version yet. Followed by the SNES version, followed by the Amiga, then Lynx, then Master System, Genesis, Arcade. That's my ranking. That's my definitive ranking of these so far. I just want to see who the next fighter is. I want to see if this game skips Southside Jim completely, as I presume it does. It feels like every other game has cut out Southside Jim. I feel like this Game Boy version would probably cut out even more than just him. They'd probably cut out Angel from this one, the lady fighter. For all I know, the next fighter could just be the Masked Warrior himself at this rate. Well, you gotta have the Cruz match. You gotta have this. Oh, they actually colored him differently. They found a way to make these two distinct from one another on this screen, which is more than can be said to some of the other versions of this game, where they didn't even bother. Oh man, I just realized I have to play Mortal Kombat on Game Boy again at some point if I am doing this gimmick where I'm going back through these games I've written articles about. Ooh, that's gonna be a rough stream. I wouldn't tune in for that one. I would skip that one. Okay, we have Angel. Confirmed, Angel is here. Nintendo encouraging man-on-woman violence. At least you can't use knives or boxes or anything else. That'd be a bridge too far. Alright, that's as much of that as I'm gonna play. Alright, we have 1.5 games left. Alright, I've been dreading this one. If I remember correctly, this is the worst. This is the Amstrad CPC, and I will... There we go. Never mind this crack true to the game. I'm sure that was just like some cracker group's tag on it. Readjust the scale on this. So, British microcomputer. Let's see what it can do. Well, that's cute. They tried. And yeah, I had the feeling this one was going to be a little loud, so let's turn it down. This is adorable, though. Sure is hanging on the screen. Hi. Count how many colors there are in the Amstrad CPC. Oh, it's just going through. It's not even changing the background out. It's just... Huh. I guess that's a version of the intro. Huh. Oh, that's right, keyboard. Player 1 joystick, player 2 keyboard. Yeah, that's all we get. That's all we get. Let's do Buzz, why don't we? X-Pro Wrestler. And we're back to analog stick and one button. Oh no. Let's see if there's a control option for this. Turn disc over. Disc control. Oh no. Maybe if I just press space, it'll just work. Okay, cool. Thank God. That could have been disastrous. Oh boy. Okay. I don't know if I'm actually controlling this or not. Boy howdy, it does not feel like I'm controlling it, but I can see myself punching, and I am pressing a button, and the punches are coming out like a full second later. What is this, 2 frames per second? You know, I think there might be scaling here. Oh, wow! Yeah, there is. In the loosest sense of the word. This is the power of the Amstrad CPC. This was the cheapest microcomputer that your pounds could buy back in the day, because it came with its own monitor to produce these beautiful color graphics. I don't know if a good Amstrad CPC game exists. Fight me, Europeans. Like, I'm willing to concede that there are okay ZX Spectrum games. You know, there's probably a good few Amiga games. Not many, but I'm willing to concede there's maybe a couple of them. But this machine... Can I at least increase the scale on this? Because I know it has, like, these border windows. No, it's just gonna always be that small amount of screen real estate. I could zoom in using OBS, but that wouldn't be the intended experience. That would be missing the point of playing this on the Amstrad CPC, where 90% of the screen is fucking bezels. Is just blank space. Oh, look at that jump! So, versus the SNES version, versus the Game Boy version. Oh, I figured out how to pick them up! Which, I mean, it randomly happened as I was mashing buttons out. Actually, no, we can count the frames because there's a timer in the bottom. I think this is actually 3 frames per second. I was sorry if I said 2 frames per second before. I was missing a whole frame there. This guy should have, like, no health left. There we go. Jesus wept. Alright, is anything gonna happen? No forklift, no money. This is the weakest version of the screen, amazingly enough. Oh, match 2. Are we really doing this to ourselves? Alright. Let me pick up the knife. Are you gonna pick up the knife before I can again? I know that these dotted red lines are supposed to indicate, you know, the movement of the floor and whatnot. But I wonder how many... I wonder if we can get an extra frame back if it didn't have to render that stuff on a per-line basis, on a per-frame basis. Because the less data we have on the screen, the quicker it should run, theoretically. But that might be important for, like, actually lining up your attacks in some capacity. It's hard to say. Because I don't think anything in this game really matters in terms of inputs, in terms of, you know, even trying to play this. It's kind of just a fool's errand from top to bottom. Can this guy please get hit? I'd love to kick him while he's down. That ain't happening. You know, it's not that I can't play this. You know, I've played worse than this. Not a lot worse than this. This is pretty down. This is pretty low. But I just feel bad for you guys, so that is why if I am about to quit this game in the next few seconds, it is not a measure of my weakness. It is a measure of my sympathy, my empathy for you. Frappe Fiasco Cats, would you rather play this with a slide puzzle minigame? Oh boy, that is a tough call. I think this. I want to win this fight. I think we won the fight. No. Let me end it with a knife then. If the game will let me. Oh my God! All I want to do is down and fire to pick that up. You know what? Fuck it. I'll take the slide puzzle. Die! That has to do it. Okay. Alright, we've found our new bottom. This is the worst version of Pit Fighter. That commercially released. And, you know, it did commercially release. Oh, we gotta see the grudge match. Very different from the other matches that we've fought so far. It's two opponents of equal skill being pitted against each other. I thought I was going to be merciful and to say, like, one knockdown's all you need. We know how slow this is. We know how long this is taking. Imagine playing this two-player. Imagine having the second player slot be occupied, and that this is how you fight your friend. This is how you do your competitive multiplayer at home. This is how you settle your real-life grudges through Pit Fighter on Amstrad CPC. Do we get a Masked Warrior promo? That is the question. What was I expecting? I mean, what did I think we were going to see? Alright, that's enough of that. Which brings us to our last game. Which brings us to the half game I've been mentioning, in that there was an attempt, a prototype, to bring this game to the Atari 7800, to bring Pit Fighter to the masses on the 7800. This is it. We have jump, we have punch, we have a bunch of identical dudes. I see them flash white when I hit them. We actually knocked one down. Let's see if we can knock all the rest down, too. This is my hole, it was made for me, says Sober Dwarf. You do fit in kind of perfectly. Alright, all I gotta do is knock this last guy out, and we'll have seen everything there is to see here, I think. This guy is squirrely. It's almost like he doesn't want to get knocked out or something. It's almost like he doesn't want to fight. Yeah. Found our sweet spot. Keep walking into my punches, buddy. And eventually we will knock him down. Alright, there we go. We won! Totally studly. Brutality bonus. Yeah, this ain't much. There is a pause button. There is a working pause button here, so we got that. But yeah, believe it or not, this was unfinished. This is not a completed game, so that is why I counted it as a half of a game. Alright, I think that was every version of Pit Fighter. Yep, I'm double checking my work here. That is every version of Pit Fighter, all handily handled within the course of 2 hours. A little less than that, even. All in all, arcade version is pretty dire, and the rest are just worse versions of that. So, I don't know, 2 out of 5 for the arcade version is what I gave it back in the article. Yeah, that's fair. It's not the worst I've ever played. I mean, you could get minutes of enjoyment out of that if you were an aficionado of that kind of game, if you had a buddy to play it with. Maybe that's what I needed to do. Maybe I needed to wait for someone to actually play this with me and play all the co-op matches, all the competitive matches with me. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend revisiting it, as I did. It was 7 years. I could have waited another 7 before I played these games again. But, you know, they're novelties. They're interesting. The arcade game is, at least. And seeing the ways they translated that, what were, for the time, impressive graphics in the arcade, and how they conceded to bring it to consoles and handhelds. And surprising which versions of the game are sort of more visually impressive, which retain more than the others do. So, it's interesting to compare and contrast in that sense. I do like comparing and contrasting ports. You know, and if I were writing, I'd probably have more to say about each of these in terms of, you know, cataloging each of the features. But, you know, you're using your eyes and your ears to see them happen live right now. So, I feel like I can spare myself some of that work and just enjoy the games for what they're worth. For whatever that's worth. Thank you for joining on this short notice solo stream. I'm looking at people to raid right now, and it looks like Lord BBH is playing Retro. So, you know. This might even be a final fight if I'm looking at this thumbnail, if I'm reading that thumbnail correctly. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back, as always, with something, sometime. Maybe even this Saturday. We might have a theme night in mind. I might have Charky on the horn with me. And we may have some parody games lined up for you. That's all I'm going to say for now. Bye!